Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Christy, Matt, Alonzo. They saw John Wick Chapter 2. Sadly, I did not. I did finally see John Wick this weekend.
Did you like it?
God.
I had never seen it. I loved it.
Yeah,
it was
it's fun.
very
You'll like this
entertaining.
one then.
I can't
They're
wait.
very similar. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. John Wick 2. He's back. He's looking for his car this time. His car got stolen in the first one. His dog got killed. Spoiler alert. This one, he's got a new dog after the old car. He gets a contract that he doesn't want to do because somebody presents him with a marker. And the rules of this society are you have to fulfill the contract, you have to pay back the marker, or you die. And so he decides he doesn't want to do it, and then maybe he does want to do it, and it all serves to start lots of action sequences, lots of guns, lots of killing. It's cool.
How good to see you again so soon.
You have no idea what's coming.
You want a war? Or do you want to just give me a gun?
And one thing that's so cool about these movies is like the specificity of their language, right? And their rules and their code and the words, the coded words they use to establish their world. And the fact that there's this hotel that is off limits to, it's the neutral zone. I like how rich that is. And it feels so specific and yet it is within our very recognizable contemporary life.
Right.
That part's really cool still.
It's kind of what you wanted to have been.
I like Wanted.
I like Wanted too, but it goes so totally off the rails in a way that this movie stays, I hesitate to use the word grounded, but this movie stays accessible and kind of consistent. When Wanted introduced so there's these magical weavers. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Right? And the bullet bending. This one is all right at the edge of believability. This all could be going on, this Illuminati of assassins. And it stays consistent with that, and it plays around in that world some more. And there are stakes. It's, that it manages to raise the stakes from the first one. Wick is presented with this marker that the people around him say, you really shouldn't have given this marker out to get your job done in the first one. And so when the guy comes calling on it, and burns his house down, and he says, okay, well, I guess I'll go do it, and things go badly for John, and it ends in a position that, we're gonna get a third one, and that's gonna be awesome too, if they deliver on this. I think this movie is very, very effective doing what it wants to do. It's exactly what you kind of hope it's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
Yeah, it is. If you like the first one, I'm looking up somebody. I'm not texting. I'm looking up somebody. I'm trying to remember the name of the actor who is the Lance Reddick, who runs the hotel, the manager of the hotel. He's great in this. He's a great supporting cast. Common's good in this. I don't want to say one person that is a surprise.
Is Ian McShane back?
Yes,
Ian McShane
very
is
much
back.
so.
He's very good.
He is.
The person that's a surprise is in the trailer.
Okay. Is he?
Yeah.
All right. I'm still not going to say it.
Yeah.
So,
but there's a little Matrix reunion.
damn it! Why did you say
I'm not
that?
saying there's 20 other people in the Matrix.
Don't say that.
It's Hugo
I
Weaving.
was trying so
Carrie-Anne
hard
Moss.
to not spoil things for you guys.
Joey Pants.
Joey Pants, exactly. Wait a minute.
Anyway, it's a shitload of gunfire. I mean, it is almost numbing, I would say, but it's always creative. It's never the same big action set piece over and over again. The one in the big mirrored art installation is very cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a throwback to Enter the Dragon, and it
Yes.
works really well.
Lady from Shanghai.
Okay.
With the
sure.
mirrors.
Enter the Dragon borrowed it from Lady from Shanghai.
Okay.
Let's Orson Welles, please. Come on.
Anyway, no, it's not, surprisingly not repetitive, given the numbing amount of gunfire that occurs. There's a lot of care here that was taken. It's the same director from the first one, who's a former, Chad Stahelski, who's a former stuntman turned director.
And worked with
Keanu Reeves.
on The Matrix, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, there's a great visual verve to it. It's scary and it's tense, but it's also very cheeky.
And one of the things this movie does well is that each action set piece is different than the one before it, and none of them repeat what we saw in the first film.
Yeah,
so
they're totally different.
It's
they're very well
these
thought out.
are guys who really take their craft seriously, and they're giving you something new. And this is, when we complain about action movies being by the numbers and things that show us everything we've seen before, it's because we want something like this. And these guys, again, they really are trying to push themselves, and they're taking their art seriously, and it works. And look, like, is this a movie that's particularly deep? Not really. Doesn't matter. It does.
About honor and codes.
But I think, I mean, based on the first film, and it sounds like with this one as well, they at least bother to put in a connective tissue that's interesting.
Yeah.
And that, maybe these might not be the deepest characters in the world, but their world is so interesting.
Well, and
that it,
And one of the things this movie does, and I actually think this is a movie that has a deeper character arc and a character with more depth than what we see in 50 Shades of Darker, is that in the first film, you get this sense that John Wick had put aside all of this killing and for his wife that he then lost, and he reluctantly comes back and kills everybody. This one, he's now wrestling with that, and you see that it really affects him, and you see this character, and Keanu plays this really well, that kind of natural, laconic kind of sadness to him serves him very, very well in this, because it's a character that you realize has gone back on who he thought he was, and he's still kind of embracing what he's really good at, but he's not enjoying it, right? It's not that there's hesitation in what he does, but there's regret. There's a fair amount, there's this melancholy to his character, which I think is really interesting in an action movie, in a movie that really is over the top and gripping. That sense of melancholy, I think, is not something that you see a lot, and it works really well, and it adds some gravitas to this film.
Ooh, gravitas. Right? It's a great fit for everything that Keanu Reeves does so well, and knowingly so, but not to the extent of self-parody, right? In terms of the physicality of it and the stoic kind of mysterious mysticism about him. He's working his ass off. And I enjoyed it. I'm actually.
And everybody else is too.
Yeah, no, it's a great cast. And one thing that was an interesting touch was that the breed of dog changes, and how that's a reflection of where he is psychologically. Because the first movie, he has this adorable little cuddly beagle puppy, and now he has a pit bull. And she's a sweet girl, right? It's a girl, right? Isn't it? It's a boy. It's just named Dog. The dog is named Dog. But it's a pit bull this time, which maybe is an indication of like how he's toughened himself and trying to protect himself from the outside world, but the dog is still loyal and sweet.
Right, and kind of the professional courtesy moments between him and Common and the other woman, the other female assassin, I can't remember her name.
Claudia Gerini.
Yeah, who
it's a cool scene too.
speaks in sign language.
Oh no, I was Ruby Rose.
Ruby Rose.
Oh right,
was
yes.
in Triple X. I thought you meant the Italian.
No. Well, that's a really good moment
scene.
too.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting one.
The code they all
abide by. But the scenes with Ruby Rose, who's just speaking in sign language, and they could have really overplayed that, and they don't. They're just, I think, and there's this Ben talks about movies where you see somebody who's good at their job doing their jobs well, and this takes that moment, and there's this kind of professional acknowledgement between these characters, and it's like, hey, working? Oh yeah, it was a job. Yeah, it was a job for me. And you know what this means, and there's this shorthand. There's this shorthand in the way they talk that you can absolutely follow along with, and it's really satisfying to see. Yeah. This is a great movie. I think I might be talking myself up to a higher score.
I think I am too, because I was going to say 7, and now I'm going to say 8. What are you going to do?
I was going to say 8, but now I'm saying 9.
Okay, that makes math easy.
This is awesome.
So 8.5. Yeah, it's everything you want it to be.
Yeah, it's in the high 90s on the tomato meter. It'll end up certified fresh. It's a great movie. Go see it.
I'm seeing it this weekend.
Ooh,
Good.
Bye.
Go see it.